Welcome, everybody, to the Genesis Mindset. And this is a bit of an emergency episode. And I wanted to do this episode impromptu as a calming voice for the community. So for me, it's Christmas DAI. It's Christmas DAI. So obviously the news is not that good for Richard Hart, but I think he feels very differently about it. And so I want to project his energy out into the world. So Interpol has pressed charges against Richard Hart, and it's caused this rapid dip of everything across Pulsechain. So we're really seeing the pros of the liquidity bonding is great, but this is the opposite spectrum of liquidity bonding. So don't let them shake you out. We've seen all of this before. It's the same playbook that they use. This is what the SEC did to us, and this is what they're trying to do now. They're clutching at straws. So for me, this is a time of Christmas, and I'm spreading the good news to family and friends. I've told them that we've dipped below 1 cent because for me, look, I feel bad because what's happening to Richard, but he's staying strong. He's staying strong. So because Richard knows he can't be defeated, then for me, these dips are a massive gift. So they're a blessing in disguise. So let's be calm. And I'm going to share why I think that we should be calm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sharing the screen here and just flip this around. So our boy, Richard James Schuler, basically, I haven't got the full things here, but they've pressed charges against him related to tax fraud and assault. So assault on a 16-year-old girl. So someone in the pub shared it. I was going to show, but in the end, does it really matter? Does it really matter what they say? They're simply just trying to shake us out. And we've seen all of this before. And I didn't know this, but I woke up seeing this from Richard, and I was like, yes, go Richard. But I didn't know it was in response to this thing with Interpol. So he said, my whole life, actually, no, I'll quickly turn on this and then I'll zoom in because I know maybe it's a little bit hard to read. So he says, my whole life I've been preparing for the future, anticipating it, creating it. I've never been safer, and I'm excited for the future. That makes me happy. That makes me happy to hear him say that he's never been safer and excited for the future. The Honorable Justice in the SEC versus me should have her ruling out soon. Donald Trump will be in office soon. PulseX, Pulsechain, Hex, Inc. are all functioning wonderfully. This makes some entities mad, but there's literally nothing they can do about it except be mad. It feels great to be wanted. Nothing can stop an idea whose time has come. So what a powerful statement from our spiritual leader, so to speak. There's no centralized authority with this Pulsechain, with Hex, or anything like this, but Richard Hart is the founder, and we really look to him a lot for guidance. So nothing is going to shake us out. We've seen this before, and as an Australian, so okay, people think I'm British. I'm Australian. So I get all the Americans who are like, jolly good, mate. And I'm like, bro, I'm Australian. That's a British thing. And I'm just like, hey, what's going on, SA? You must be American, SA. American, South American, North American. Anyway, it's funny in my mind. So yeah, for me, this is an amazing opportunity. Like I said, I've been sharing this with my friends. Honestly, I was saying that I feel like we can dip below 1 cent. I was not expecting something like this, and I was certainly not expecting it to happen so soon. So this is an anomaly, and it was a very, very lucky call. So I'm not taking any credit for this call whatsoever because I wasn't anticipating it to happen in this particular manner. But at the same time, I feel very vindicated that I spread that news, and I hope people that were looking to accumulate more have prepared accordingly. So good morning, Adam. What's going on? And P died. So no, P hasn't died. P hasn't died, bro. And of course, I know you're joking. This is Christmas DAI. So Christmas time, Christmas DAI. Good morning, Alex. If you know anything about the worldwide corruption, this is so cliche. Exactly, Mr. Cat. So yeah, what I was saying before is so as an Australian, this is what they tried to do with Julian Assange. So basically, Julian Assange shone a big, huge light on the corruption of the American government, on the corruption of the American military industrial complex. And they came after him like a pack of wolves, but they cannot get he basically was released very recently. And it was really like, it was something that made me really angry and frustrated as an Australian that our government was doing nothing to protect one of our citizens who did nothing but share the truth of the disgrace and the disgust of the military industrial complex. So for me, I just see that same thing over and over. So this, as you said, Mr. Cat, if you know anything about the worldwide corruption, this is so cliche. So the more that you really become in tune with the world, the more that you're seeing, like, this is just, it's just the same playbook again and again. It's because their time is up. So as you said, Adam, nothing can shake us out. The bridge is so jammed, nobody can bridge in any funds. I mean, that's fantastic. Everybody is really trying to get in. Everyone wants to buy these dips because we can see what's going on now, right? So trying to get my stuff bridged over, it's stuck. RH apparently bridging in a lot of ETH. There you go. So, I mean, yeah, he's obviously also looking at this opportunity and saying, what a golden opportunity. So this is the thing. It's like, again, it's just about objectively observing reality as it is. And so objectively reserving this reality, it's, for me, it's a very positive thing because we've got a price dip, right? And it could be the lowest that it's ever going to go, ever. So let's have a look now at this has happened before. So I've got PulseX here and it's the same because they're all liquidity bonded. So what ended up happening here with PulseX, this was the SEC charges. So we had a massive, massive dip. What's going on? What's going on? The big dog woke up to some blood in the street. So we had this massive dip on the SEC. This is also why I want people to remain calm as well, because it's almost like the dips have disappeared already, but I don't think it's the end of the dip. I think we're going to see a similar scenario to this. We had this massive sell-off. So big dog, what's the news? Basically, the news is they pressed charges against Richard Hart. So they pressed charges against Richard Hart, Interpol, that he assaulted some 16-year-old. It's literally exactly the same as what happened to Julian Assange. It's what happened to Julian Assange. So I'm just like, man, these guys, their time is up and they're clutching at straws. So in any case, feels just like the SEC news, bro. Exactly. Feels like it and looks exactly like it. So this is what the SEC happened. We had this huge dump, this huge sell-off. The market went into panic mode. Everybody sold. And then people started accumulating at the same time. So this is on the 3-day. But what ended up happening for a period of another several weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, we still dipped, but we still dipped down. So that's, from my perspective, that's the way that I would be looking at this. I'd be like, okay, if I was lucky enough to get anything below 1 cent, awesome. I picked something up below 1 cent, for example, with Pt I or with this particular dip. But now everybody else has started to accumulate, but there's still going to be fear in the market. The market is it's just energy. It's really just energy. So this is a representation of energy, of fear. This is a representation of an energy of opportunity. And then this is this energy here is like late energy. People like, I mean, look, we're seeing now people are just waking up to the news. So there's going to be people who are waking up to this news, are not at their computer. They're going to hear about this. And of that portion of people that do that, there's going to be within there people that are afraid of this news still. So these first people that are afraid are here sitting by the computer. The rest of people are still going to be afraid, and they're going to be looking at this going, oh, all right, I'm so glad that these suckers bought it up. Now I can get out because I'm afraid to get out. So, I mean, already we've seen like a massive, I mean, look at this. We've had this massive dump, and now it's already bounced up. It's already had a 35% correction. So these lines yesterday were from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we had a down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we've had a down. So for me, now it's just bullish. We're in the bull season. But yeah, this playbook, man, don't let them shake you out. But this is the double-edged sword of liquidity bonding, because now everything has dropped. So we don't know what got sold, but everything across the chain has dipped. So when I woke up and I saw this, I was like, holy smokes. So this is Atropa. And so, how did it affect the Atropa to DAI? So to Pt I, how did it affect that ratio? And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the height of this so these charts are a little bit bigger and easier to see for people. So it just sideways. Awesome. So what I was showing on my stream yesterday, last night, was this sideways action ends up being bullish. Oh, hang on. No. This sideways action ended up being bearish rather, or like a downtrend for DAI and Atropa. And so we're seeing this sideways here, which for me is like, It really depends on how you look at it, right? I mean, it's going down, but if it's going down from, I mean, okay, yeah, from a trending perspective, it's bearish, but from a psychological perspective, it's bullish because it's like, hell yeah, these prices are lower. I can start accumulating more. That's how I like to look at these things anyway. So, good morning, Slug and Coin, Russell Coit. So why would Richard even be near a 16-year-old? Who knows, man? Who knows? And this is why, for me, it's all just like fabricated nonsense. So, did he get picked up, or he just got charged? To the best of my knowledge, he got charged, and he has said this makes him into he's mad. He said, I've never been safer, and I'm excited for the future. So I don't think that they even know where he is, which I'm very happy to hear about. And yeah, I mean, I saw some of the boys in the pub talking about this being like the John McAfee situation. So, yeah, they really don't want him gone. So they don't want him here. Sorry, they don't want what he's building. That's really what it comes down to. He's building something that's a revolution, and that's really what all this is about. It was the same as Julian Assange. Julian Assange shone a light on the corruption. So instead of admitting that what you have is a disgusting, vile, rotten to the core system, instead of admitting your flaw, which what humans cannot do, we won't just go on Twitter for like half an hour. Humans will never admit when they're wrong. They'll instead point the finger and blame. So that's exactly what the military-industrial complex did, and that's what they're now again doing with Richard Hart. So yeah, if we have a look across the board, everything is just really dumped, man. It's really dumped, but it really depends on your perspective. So my perspective is like, I mean, look at this. Look at the way that it's bounced out of there. So this is the people that have accumulated. Never would I have anticipated something like this. So it came down all the way down to, I mean, it dipped below 1 cent. I think I was the only person that said it was going to dip below 1 cent, to the best of my knowledge. But there's no way that I would ever have expected this. There's just no. This is like an anomaly, a black swan event. So it's not like, oh, I made this great TA call, look at me, because it's really like, it was pure luck. I was anticipating, well, in the same way that this squiggly line, that it was going to be more gradual. Having said that, I do believe it's going to continue to dip. I would expect that it kind of hovers around this area, because this area here is like a key, this 1.3 cents is like a key level. So my expectation is it's going to hover around here, and then we're going to see the same. Actually, let's do that. What's this on? So this is on the 3 days. So let's go here. We're going to see this. Oh, shout out to the dude who showed me this. So let's get this bar thing. And I think we're basically essentially going to be seeing exactly the same as this. So let's get this. Let's get our little bar thing. Here we go. I'll cut that and I'll put this into PDI. And so we're going to see something like this is my expectation. We're going to see something like this. So it's bounced down. We've had a very rapid push up, but it's going to just slowly come down, and the price is going to have to settle first. This is the first wave of energy, the energy that's here and paying attention and fast. And the next wave of energy is going to be like the slow, the people who come on, the people who are just waking up to the news. And so I mean, my hope is that it dips below the 1 cent mark, but I don't think, I mean, that time frame was like 3 weeks. I don't think it's going to be that quick, that slow rather. But it's also going to depend on the rest of the market. So I know, like Bitcoin had this massive drop, and everything's just like liquidity bonded everywhere. So I have to find him exactly. So sounds exactly like Andrew Tate. Exactly, bro. Exactly. So it's the same playbook again and again and again. When you call out whatever you want to call it, right? The Illuminati, what's the other word that people use? The dark, what's that word? The deep state. Whenever you call them out, then this is their response to it. And so their response to it is also just a form of energy. And it's an energy that's like clutching. It's clutching in its dying breath to hold on to its existence. But it's dead. It's already dead. It's just a matter of time. So just like Richard says, just like Richard concludes here, nothing can stop an idea whose time has come. And so this is our time. This is the time of the people. Decentralized finance is here to break down the structure of centralized banking. That was the thing that I was the most bullish about decentralized finance, the most bullish about crypto when I first found out about it, because I hated the concept of centralized banking. I hated the fact that there were these entities that really controlled the world. Basically, it's just a bunch of families that control the Federal Reserve, and nobody says anything. Nobody can say anything. People get murdered, people get assassinated. It's not right. It's not the right way to live. So now things are really starting to change. The tides are turning because the truth has come to the world. So because the truth has come to the world, then it's also the time of truth. So the whole world is being shaken up and stirred because the truth is here. So the truth has come to the world. So because the truth has come, that's why now it can happen now. This couldn't happen, say, 100 years ago or 200 years ago or even 50 years ago, because the truth hadn't come to the world. But now it has. So now it can actually happen because the truth is going to harvest everybody and take everybody into the way that we need to be taken. So people buying up everything hard. Exactly, Philip. People buying everything up hard. So again, I have no idea, but I sort of anticipate something along these lines. And how crazy would it be if it ends up doing something like this? I mean, yeah, sure, around about January, start of January. I don't think, again, I presented the idea yesterday, the thesis that my thinking behind all of this is we're going to continue to dip into the end of the year, simply because the last 3 cryptocurrency bull markets, when they went through the Christmas season, were just bullish. It was all bullish. And so because there's this expectation, the market always surprises us. So I was saying, basically, when it happens once, it's like, well, it's nothing. When it happens twice, it's like, okay, there's a bit of a coincidence there. But when it happens 3 times, there's an establishment of a pattern. And so when you establish a pattern, that's when the pattern, in my experience from looking at things, that's when it changes. That's when the market changes, because there's all these people that think that they see it and they understand it and they try to anticipate it, but that's when it changes. So that's why also, even in this sense, we have 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. Maybe this is our 3rd. This is where it's going to change, and then we're going to really rip. So for me, again, I'm still bullish, like so bullish long term. So I just have no problems, no issues, no fears whatsoever. But I could really feel also I can feel the whole earth vibrating with fear, and probably also there's also like greed in there, because everybody's like picking up there's people that are picking up this dip, and there's also people that are really panicking. So I really tried to do a thumbnail and one that's more positive, one that's less fear porn. I think that there was a real backlash with that. So I thought, well, maybe I don't want to be putting out that energy. I should really just try to continue to put out this positive energy rather than trying to like capitalize on it. But even it's almost like I feel like a news reporter in a way, but I really just want to like, okay, let's chill out. So it's getting eaten up very quickly. I would love to, Alex. I would love to. I have messaged him DMs, but yeah, Somi's a very busy guy, so I'm not sure if he doesn't really answer his DMs. So I'll keep trying because I would love to do that. So thanks, man. The big dog. Good alts will recover harder when Pulse bounces. Bear, Pt I, Blast, Kishka, same thing happened last shakeout. Then we saw huge gains in other alts, including the Atropa ecosystem. Exactly. So this is also something that I wanted to share. So again, it's like a double-edged sword with the liquidity bonding, right? So probably no one even sold anything in Atropa, and we've had this massive dip. So we've had this massive drop. I mean, if you look at that, it's had a 50% drop in just like a single candle. BFF that the light has dipped below 8K, and I was sharing with BFF that the light how G Baby is a multiplier on BFF that the light, and how basically like it was the pumping of G Baby which caused the pumping of BFF. But if you're an accumulator of these things, if you're interested in these things, I mean, look at these dips. Another dip. What's this? This is bro. I mean, this is like another 50% dip. And Teddy Bear, no one's really scooped up much of the Teddy Bear dip. So no one scooped up the BFF, but it looks like people have maybe scooped up. Probably people have scooped up Pt I, and because the bonding between Atropa and Pt I is so strong, it's causing this huge bounce up with Atropa, whereas not so much in Bear and BFF. So, I mean, if I'm looking at this, going, I just see Christmas presents everywhere. I just see Christmas presents. I don't want to be buying it up here. I don't want to be buying it up there. That's not where I want to be telling my friends to be buying either. So I instantly messaged my friends who I've onboarded into the chain, and I said, look, we've just had a dip. I messaged all the boys in the Fib Fund. But yeah, I've yeah, the bridge is clogged up apparently, so it looks like it's going to be hard, but it's happening across the chain. So across the chain, everything is just dipping because this is the downside of the concept of liquidity bonding. Everything moves together. 0.786 dip, nice. So what was that? Is that what we ended up getting down to with PDI? Is that what you're saying? We got down below 8 cents. Let me have a look at this. Did we get below 8 cents? Okay, not quite. So maybe in the sense of, maybe you're talking about this from like a Fibonacci perspective. Is there a 0.786? So that's 0.786 there. I'm not. Is there another 0.786? Yeah. So I'm not too sure. Is that or is that? Okay, I'm not too sure what that means. I think it's something to do with the Fibonacci, but yeah, as people who watch this channel, I'm not really like a full TA guy. But I mean, look at that, right? If you are a TA guy, look at that. So this is also where you measure from the top to the bottom. So I'm just going to delete this for a second. So we've gotten down to this level here. So again, I do believe that it's going to settle down back into there. I don't believe that this bounce up is it, and already it's starting to fall again. Because it was up to, I mean, look, it's already starting to fall down. So this is really just an expression of the market volatility. It's an expression of the energy of the market. So if we can really just look at this as just frequencies and waves and energy, and be really detached from the way that we're feeling, this is the way that I'm continuously trying to be as a person who invests. If I'm in my emotions and I wake up and I read this, I would also be fear selling, but I've seen so much of this stuff. I'm just like, no, I'm not going to let them do this to me anymore. So the cabal, exactly. So I wish I had more funds. Richard Hart must be doing something right. I wish I had more funds too, Anita. I wish I had more funds too. So 3 years for new life. Richard Hart is big in numerology. So 3 years for new life. Grandpa Pulse. Where's the 3 in that sense? Where's 3 for what, sir? But yes, I have heard Richard Hart is also big with numerology. So midnight math, Stephen coming in clutch on the red day. So yep, here to be hopefully a voice of reason and really change the way that I present information, because also, it affects me as well, right? If I come up and I hype things, and it also kind of like it seeps into my own consciousness, and I'm not able to be as calm as I should be. So glad I took profits from Teddy into other coins. Nice, man. Nice. I think coins on Ethereum can now run. Probably you meant to say run. ETH run now. I think coins on ETH run now while Pulse chills for a minute. Probably. Let me see. So I've got my little. Yeah, we're gonna have to make do with this. Sorry, fam. So this is my. I don't think I can change this to dark mode. It's on dark mode, but anyway. So this is my calm blue. So I can't, we had this big dip. I mean, it's kind of the same thing, right? I mean, I'm not, if you want to look at like Bitcoin tier and all that stuff, go watch the Crypto Kings, because the Moon King is just like immaculate. The Crypto Kings are immaculate at this kind of stuff. So I feel if I was a betting man or a guessing man, or like based on how I'm seeing the world and some of the signs that I'm seeing in the world, I think Bitcoin can come down to here. I think it can dip below 90, and it dipping below 90 is like going to send a wave of fear across the market, because everybody now, once it got up sort of almost to 110, everyone's like, oh, it's never going to dip below 100K. And so for it to dip below 90K, it really had, look, it filled up probably all these buy orders here. And so, yeah, I just think, I just see this as, what do we got here? Where's my wave trend for Bitcoin? Where's my Bitcoin? The pairs. So I'm just curious to see what's happening with Ethereum, because it's going to be the same story. I mean, it's just the same story everywhere, man. It's all liquidity bonded. So I just think it's going to keep dropping probably. And again, this will probably keep dropping, like probably below the 3K mark. So yeah, it's quite interesting that the 3K mark is going to be this critical level. I saw what I shared yesterday. There was a tweet of someone who like senses the future, and I believe in these things. And he was basically putting out his wife was telling him to basically be more public about his like predictions about the future. So he ends up having these like premonitions where he's like, this is going to happen. And so he put this tweet out. He's got like 6,000 followers, and this tweet had like over 1.4 million like views. And basically, he put this tweet out saying that I have all these premonitions for the future, and I keep them to myself. My wife has told me to be more public because they keep coming true. Obviously, I confide in her, but she knows, but nobody else really does. So this is me saying that something big is going to happen by the end of the year. And from a rational perspective, you could look at that, go, well, there's big things all the time, and he just got it lucky. But for me, he was basically also talking about it like it's like a gift. It's not some sort of like magical superpower. It's the same as like, LeBron James is gifted in basketball. Tiger Woods is gifted. They have the talent. There's a particular talent that they have which makes them exceptional at that. And so there's also these like spiritual, what would be considered quote unquote spiritual talents, where people can sense the future, but it's not like some woo-woo thing. It's literally just how the universe has constructed them, so they have the capacity to see into the future. And so for me, it's not this totally out of world thing. So when I saw that, and the fact that I also have similar things, I'm like, yeah, I vibe with that. It's not something that's totally out of the realms of possibility. And I'm seeing like the signs where they're talking about, this debt ceiling. They're going to have to raise the debt ceiling and suspend Congress. It's like they're preparing us for something that's going to happen. And we know now the US government, China, and BlackRock are the top 3 holders of Bitcoin. So yeah, it's all just market manipulation. All they do is manipulate the market. They put news out into the world, so they're kind of preparing us. So when it happens, it's like, oh, look at this thing. It was because of the debt ceiling that got raised. That's what they can put it down to. But it's really just like market manipulation. It was always going to happen. They were always going to sell it off. They were always going to try to accumulate more because they want to maximize their position and they want to be the strongest holders in these assets. So for me, it's just a bunch of BS. But yeah, as Vigilante says here, I think, yeah, probably other assets in other blockchains are going to start to go, but it's all just liquidity bonded as well. So obviously this was an anomaly within Pulsechain, but yeah, what a time, what an exciting thing. So crypto grandma. So we got Grandpa Pulse and our crypto grandma talk. So Pulsechain and Hex are independent from Richard Hart. So why the panic? People are so dumb. Yeah, I mean, not the dumb part, but I agree. I agree with all of that. They're all independent. Like it has nothing to do with, like, if Richard goes to prison tomorrow, they're still going to operate. There's still multiple front ends for Hex. It can still churn on no matter what. So measure fibs from the last bottom to the top. Hence, so you do the other way around. So let me see what that does. So if you do the other way around, I'm just curious to see what happens in that instance. So the last bottom, and then we'll go to the top. Okay, it's the same thing. Is that the same thing? But it ends up just like looking maybe slightly different. Yeah, because I got told that you measure it from the top to the bottom rather than the bottom to the top. But this is also why, I mean, again, it's like the charting is so subjective. I mean, yeah, essentially they're the same thing. So yeah, great call, man. There you go. So from the bottom to the top, I've been told from the bottom to the top, I've been told from the top to the bottom, but really they're kind of the same thing, right? So I think the only reason why, maybe a little bit of alpha here, the only reason why I do top to the bottom is because top to the bottom, then you can see where the projected targets could potentially be. That's why I do top to the bottom. And I think maybe either Vigilante here, one of my really good friends, one of my meditation buddies, shared that with me, or it could have been maybe the Moon King from one of the Moon King's many epic videos, and it could have been maybe even from what's it called, his 7 laws of meme coin. So yeah, if you have a look at this, I mean, if you have a look at all of the, I might do that now just to kind of have a look how this is. If you have a look at all of this stuff, so let's just pull this all the way over to here. So it kind of came up to this 3.618. So now, just out of blatant curiosity, let's see what happens. I mean, it didn't happen in these instances, but maybe it happens more when there's like when it's like a bullish trend. I mean, it's always also not going to happen all the time. Look at that, man. Look at that. So this is zoomed into the 4 hour. So again, I think it's going to keep coming down. I think it's going to settle around the 8 cent mark. What a gift. What a gift. Christmas time. What a beautiful Christmas gift for the DAI. What, not just for DAI community, it's Christmas DAI, but just for everyone. So I think you would see the same thing. So I'll just be, because they're very liquidity bonded, it's probably going to be sort of a little bit irrelevant, because it's essentially probably going to say exactly the same thing, but the nature of this particular chart. So let's go to the bottom here, and it's, I mean, yeah, same thing, right? It goes up to the 3.61. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit of alpha for where you might predict where price might go. And that was what I used. So I used this. So when I was saying I think PDI is going to get to the 3.3 cent mark, and it topped at 3.5, and it's not because I'm sort of like, you know, I'm just trying to learn from the best people. And so because I learned this from some guys that I really trust in TA, so my buddy here and Moon King, that's why I made that assessment. And also, like I said, 3.3 for the culture. So what ended up happening with Teddy Bear? So here's Teddy Bear, because if you look at Teddy Bear, I'm pretty sure, I mean, it's not always going to be that, but I think if we have a look at Teddy Bear from that top to that was the last bottom, I mean, yeah, kind of the same, right? So within this region. So then, I mean, now because we're in a bull market, it's the story's a little different now. So if we say that that's the new top, then you can kind of predict maybe the price is going to go within this region for the next thing before another pullback. Because even in a bull market, there's still pullbacks. Even in a bull market, it doesn't matter. There's always going to be pullbacks. And I know people are just like, you know, they want that dollar by tomorrow. They want the Lambo by tomorrow, but there's always going to be pullbacks. There's always going to be people that are going to be taking profits. It doesn't matter how bullish it is. There's always going to be pullbacks. That's just, there's always going to be like differences. Like you might be trying to get to the 7 figures, but somebody else is already in the 7 figures. And for them, a 10x is totally fine. They're going to take a ton of profit out because they don't need to wait for 100x. They don't need to risk getting the pot of gold pulled out from below them before everybody else does it. So, measure. Okay, so we did that. So, mine a little out, lol, had chart on log and fib not on log. So, sorry, mine a little out, lol, had chart on log and fib not on log. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. What happens there if we actually put, you can change this to not log? Is that what you're saying? I thought it just goes with whatever the chart is. I don't even know how to like make this log. Oh, wow. Wow. Look at that. So that's a whole nother piece of alpha right there. Wow. April White. Wow. Okay. All right. What happens there? So yeah, I don't know. So this is where it's like, you know, what are these levels? But holy shit, man. Look at that. That's pretty interesting. That's really interesting. I mean, that tells a different story, but then what? I mean, I think it's the same as if we reverse it. I'll just quickly see what it looks like the other way around. So just to see if it kind of looked like it was this. Yeah, it pretty much looks like it's the same. I prefer it this way. I'm going to be honest, just because it gives projections for targets. But isn't that interesting? What does that look like then? What does that look like when it comes to like price predictions? Because again, I'm only trying to use, I think maybe the chart in log and the fib not in log is the GOAT play. Because I mean, wow. Maybe that is the GOAT play. So if I put this in fib, it's almost like it seems less, I don't know. I mean, yeah, people, you should do it what you think is right. But if I'm looking at this, and I've never had this on log. Is this on log now? So I'm going to turn it off log, because I just think off log, it ended up at least giving us predictions for the price, which ended up being reasonably accurate. And it's the same for Teddy Bear. We basically had it sitting around here. Isn't this funny? So the 10 cent. So the 10 cent is the next target. So yeah, after this run, I think we're going to 10 cents. Then if I'm basing it on what's happened here previously, we're going to go to 10 cents. 10 cents is a big psychological level, big pullback. So yeah, maybe that's the alpha. Maybe that's the alpha. Like, it's probably a good idea to keep it consistent, but it's almost like it's better not to keep it consistent. So you have this in not log, but you have the chart in log. So the fib not in log. So a great gift if you took dry powder, learn to keep some. Yeah, man, that's been probably one part of the plan my personal plan that I haven't followed, of like taking profits along the way and then keeping dry powder for situations like this. I think the scale of my portfolio has like massively exceeded my expectations at this point of the market. So it's always a good lesson to continuously reevaluate, because if you were someone that was taking profits, and if I listened to myself when I was saying 3.3 cents, boy oh boy, I could have I'm basically tripling my bag here if I took some profits up here, but I was talking about it but not actually able to do it, because there was like there's still this element of greed, right? And this fear of like, okay, well, it was different because my bags looked the positions that I had looked so healthy that it's like, do I really want to get into this trading thing? Do I really want to get into it, or do I just hold as it is? Because how it is now is like exceeding my expectations. So it's been an interesting kind of thing to tackle in my mind. So even if it holds the 0.5 fib, still a bullish retrace. So yeah, there we go. So we've had this. So yeah, fibs are great. All these TA tools, I'm just kind of using them and learning. It's all a bit of fun. So good morning, Mitchell. Measure bottom to top if going up, and top to bottom if going down. Measure bottom to top if going up. Okay, nice. Crypto grammar talks. Okay, nice. So just out of curiosity, let's have a look. So measure bottom to top. So bottom to top if we're going. Okay, but that's interesting. So then what would we have seen then? Okay, and then measure top to bottom if going down. But again, I think maybe it's the reverse, right? Because if we have a look at this, well, so that was top to bottom, and it came down. Did it come down? It didn't come down to those levels, but that's a very key little level here, the 7.86. It kind of like pushed through it and then bounced up to it and hovered around it. So it was really like a very key thing there. But then what happens if we do it the other way? What kind of levels is it showing? And again, this is the thing. This is why for me, TA is just like, I'm not really huge on the TA, because it's really saying this. To be honest, again, I think it's better the other way around. So as it was going down, as the price is going down, I'm going to measure it from the bottom to the top so I can see where it can go. If you have a look here, look, it's really like bounced around these levels. This is the next fib. It really bounced around these levels. The next fib, holy crap. The fib, holy crap. That's pretty phenomenal. The accuracy of that, the Fibonacci there, that's exceptionally phenomenal. But again, there's so many different ways to look at it, but I like to keep it simple. But I think I'm going to start using the Fibonacci more, because also it's like, the Fib Fund, the Fib Boys. So happy birthday to Muddy. So hopefully Muddy was able to accumulate some today. So keep chart and Fib same. So both log or both no log. April White, look, for me, it looked like keeping them not the same served a better purpose in this instance. So anyway, that's why with TA, it's, again, I'm not a TA guy. I'm not here sharing like, I'm like a TA expert. I'm just kind of experimenting with different things. And there's so many different TA guys, I showed a tweet yesterday where someone was saying on the daily, showing a trend line with Pulsechain. So it'll be the same with Pt I. What was his trend line? So he was looking at the daily, and he was basically saying, he was showing this. So we had a bounce off it. So he's saying it's bullish. But now look what happened. It's pushed right through it. And it's not to diminish his perspective, but this is why TA is so hard, because it's just probabilities. So you can draw a line and put a thing on a chart, but it's all just probabilities. So you really don't know where it's going to go. You're just trying to like get behind maximizing your probability for success. So, by the way, probabilities of success. That's my whole my leverage trading account's doing so good. I shouldn't talk because every time I talk too much that it's doing so good. It's done 25% in a month, man. That's insane. That's insane. Salute to freedom. Salute to you, Ram. Salute to the time of righteousness. So dog coins on ETH soon. The big dog loving the dog coins. Some YouTubers starting to do fibs the wrong way around to confuse retail. Interesting. Okay, yeah, I'm not too sure about that. Probably, I heard Saint Wolf talking the other day about, which makes totally 100%. Basically, like the smart money. Well, not the smart money. Let's call it the big money, not the smart money. They're the big money. They know that we're looking at these tools, and they know that we've got all these courses of like, oh, how to use a Fibonacci and how to do resistance and support levels. So the very basic stuff. So now they basically design their algorithms to go against the herd. So we're the herd, where they're the prey and we're the herd. And so they'll do their algorithms that are designed against that. So they're probably also the ones that are putting out those things as well and marketing those things to really get us to trade like that so they can keep making money off us. So you really have to like stay adaptable and flexible to the market. And yeah, it's interesting. Hey, look at this. Look at the volume. 3.69. Let's go, Pulsechain. Let's go, Pulsechain. 3.69. Today's a good day. Today's a good day for Pulsechain. So I'm going to round this up because I'm going to be doing another stream with Steady Pup. And what a great person to have. But I wanted to have a look at the P stables before I finish this up. So Steady Pup, the pup with the steady nature, is going to be joining me. And we're going to be talking about this dip. And we're also going to be talking about Pulse Pup, because Pulse Pup has also now had a massive dip. So it's a good time to be looking. It's just such a great time. It's such a great time to be going shopping, Christmas DAI. So I just wanted to have a look at the P stables, how have they responded to this. So USDC and DAI has stayed relatively stable. We did have this instance here. So yeah, there you go. That's quite disconcerting. Because, well, it depends. Okay, so that was the other day actually. So it's, from one perspective, it's disconcerting. From another perspective, it's like, hell yeah, if you're providing liquidity in that, hell yeah, that's really the game that I'm trying to get myself into more and more. Because yeah, the charts, staring at the charts and Fibonacci's and all of this, and basically like these little black swan events. This black swan event, do you know how good this would have been for liquidity providers? Like everybody panic selling. Do you know how good that would have been? So the boys in Sonny's Pub, they're licking their lips in this, because it's really like a hub of liquidity providing. So anyone who wants to learn about liquidity providing, I'd recommend having a look at them. So wow, look at that dip. So that's Pulsechain really dipping hard. And now I'm just going to have a look at this one for the very last one. So this is Affection and DAI, because I'm always trying to keep an eye on the Affection to DAI, because Pt I is burnt to mint Affection. So interesting. Okay, so it did have a dip, because obviously also Affection would have dipped with it. So yeah, very interesting. So I'm going to leave it at that. If there's any questions, otherwise I'm gonna close up. And like I said, I'm going to do another stream. For me, it's in the afternoon, so probably in what do we got? So 11. I think in about 3 hours. In about 3 hours. So with Steady Pup. So I'm gonna go do my market. Go to the markets, like the actual real life markets, get some fruit and veg for the week. And just, it's been good to share this news with you guys. And I hope at least it's calmed people down, because even me talking about it is also calming me down. Because again, I'm very empathetic to the energy. So I'm also feeling that nervousness, but just being able to detach from it and hopefully be a voice of reason is my main goal here. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. There's almost 300 people across Twitter and YouTube. Hopefully this was a good, positive, calming episode. And let's stay. I mean, when I saw that tweet from Richard Hart, the rally cry, and my emotions went wild. I was just thinking of he's like our crypto warlord, and I was thinking of the scene from Return of the King with King, what is it? King, not AMR, the King Theoden, and yeah, the ride of Rohan, where they just over that, yeah, all the horses and all that stuff. My brain is fried. I'm still not sleepy enough. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. Hopefully you can join the Steady Pup stream, and everybody take care of yourselves out there today.